Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 3, and we are in the camp. Okay.
I am also here.
Yep. And last we left... Oh, I could go talk to Lae'zel. I've told her no a couple of times. I feel just mean now.
Good time for a chat.
Another dream. Another order from that dubious visitor. It announced that we will find the answers we seek in the absolute cultist's lair, and offered another generous gift. A persuasive creature. It tempts us with power, expresses its admiration, its adoration. Avert your eyes whenever it appears, and do not avail yourself of this new power, no matter how alluring. You've no idea what damage it could do to us. How far into illithid madness it could drag us.
We can use skill to manipulate these cultists. No. Was right. I just trust... There we go. Why didn't you give me that with Karlach?
Born of brainworms. And there will come a battle. Of that I'm most certain. The one truth that fell out of the dream figure's cankered lips.
Okay. They linger in my memory.
It is a certainty. I had assumed our parasites served a Geich elder, but I believe they serve a greater master still.
Fever dream born of the parasite.
Buffoonery. And you believe it no more than I do. Whatever this voice, whomever this master, it dominates dreams and unites minds.
I'm betting it's an elder brain. Have you thought about...
Mark my words. This power would be no blessing, but a curse. You might as well ask me to gouge out my eyes for the promise of sight, or slice off my tongue for the promise of taste. The mere suggestion is an insult.
No, I'm not persuading her for that.
Gladly.
Okay. I did two, so let's bring you
Is that
up.
blood? No, never mind.
Let's go talk to Scratch.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
The dog is unable to speak through the small bag he holds in his mouth.
What have you got there, Scratch?
I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. All I know is I thought of you when I saw it.
It's a bone.
Pet him.
Always
Why
pet
is the
Scratch. Huh?
Why is the bone in the bag?
I have no idea. That is a stance.
Yeah. I've definitely done theatre training.
Yeah.
How much
let's
farther
see.
can I go?
I was like mid-Tory power stance there. I'm sorry, you being American, you probably don't understand that one.
Not entirely, but I know what a Tory is.
So, for UK political reference, the Tory power stance, the Tories have this thing that they learnt from theatre, where to look impressive, you spread your legs like uncomfortably far apart while you're standing, because in theatre that's a dramatic stance. It doesn't work in real life.
It just looks goofy.
It looks very goofy.
So, which of these do you want to talk about?
Of course, unless something's the matter.
No. I just wanted to see how you felt after the night we spent together. When we talked. And kissed.
She is so uncertain of herself.
Mm-hmm.
I think Scratch might be a blink dog.
I was going to say, Scratch has been wandering around the Underdark and is fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Scratch.
Also, you can
Scratch.
summon him out of nowhere by throwing his ball. So,
I also possibly think that this is like a DBZ abridged Popo situation where Scratch is just secretly the most powerful person in this camp. And see, he blinked.
yep. It's been going on a couple times.
Yeah. On one hand, I want to say that night meant a lot to me, but on the other hand, you first. Not 3 or 4. Don't even.
I am going high, so make sure it's not a mistake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That night meant a lot to me. I'll be nice.
I hope so too. Though I'm not sure what kind of courtship will be afforded, given all that we're facing. But if you want to see where this goes, I do as well.
There's a lot of options here.
The artifact seems to be protecting us somehow. Do you still have it?
Quite the understatement, but yes, I have it. And I'll guard it with my life.
Number one, curious that you just happen to have an item that can protect us.
I was part of a group sent, though it turned out
Dang!
the cost was very steep. I was the only one of the group to survive. I took the artifact and fled, only to be ensnared by mind flayers before I could finish the mission. That's all I know. That's all I need to know.
Admirable conviction.
That's not a luxury open to many people, us included. I have my faith to turn to instead. You should find something of your own.
Let the matter drop.
Anything else?
You seemed intrigued when Halson mentioned Dark Justicars before.
I was. He mentioned Dark Justiciars, and we've come across other signs of a Sharon presence during our travels. I'm not sure I can dismiss that as a coincidence.
It's really pronounced Justiciars, huh?
That's interesting. I've always pronounced it Justicars. Huh.
Why were you in pain before?
The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from Lady Shah. I can feel her influence somehow.
They never really modeled the injury on her hand, did they? Which kind of, aside from the occasional points of light.
No, but I think we're wearing gloves all the time, so it's we're a bit it's a bit hard to
do. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. What causes it to hurt you?
It's difficult to say. Sometimes I wonder if it's supposed to be guiding me, punishing me, testing me. But perhaps it's none of those. Perhaps it's completely random. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shah will reveal to me when the time is right. Until then, all I can do is endure.
Yep.
Is there anything I can do to help with it?
I don't think so, but you're sweet to ask. Maybe just be patient the next time you see me wince or cry out. It'll pass quickly enough. It always does. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shah. Pain will give way to loss and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. You can tolerate a great deal of suffering so long as it has meaning.
Not untrue.
Turn to other matters. I want to get to know you more, Shadowheart.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask?
Tell me something about yourself besides Shah, besides tadpoles.
What? Besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant?
You'll have to point out night orchids to me if we ever pass some.
It's a deal.
Anything else you care to share?
No, I can't.
I'm surprised we haven't had this conversation already.
With my memory suppressed, I can't betray Shah's secrets. But I can't remember much of myself either. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored.
Turn to other matters.
There's so many options here.
Yeah, no, we're gonna keep going. I want to talk about what happened with Lazel.
We aren't dear friends now, if that's what you're asking. But I trust we can all sleep a little more soundly in camp now.
That's good.
You have an interesting definition of friendly, but yes.
Okay. That's a lot fewer options.
I want to talk about all that's happened to us.
Fine. What's on your mind?
What do you think about what happened in the Druid Grove?
I suppose some would commend our actions. Goblins would have razed that whole place to nothing if it weren't for us. No excuse to rest on our laurels, though. We've still got our own problems to contend with.
I think these are things we've asked before.
Yeah, turn to other matters. You and I, we share something special, I think.
Very serious of you. But go ahead.
How are you faring?
Always good when I'm with you.
That's much better than the other option.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten through all the conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about her Shah worship. Let's leave.
Okay.
We've talked enough about her Shah worship for one
Yeah.
conversation.
Okay. Who else can I have you talk to?
No, not Halson.
Okay. Leaving.
Leave.
Okay.
I'm sorry, knowing this game, like if you talk to somebody, the chances of getting romanced flags is...
Got it. So I think that's nobody else. So I'll take the hit on the others.
Still alive, so that's progress.
I was going to try to do even, but
Might
yeah,
have a word.
triggering romance flags does kind of have an issue.
Yeah.
The shadow curse you spoke of surely can't be that bad.
It's had the whole region around Moonrise Towers in a chokehold of darkness and despair for years now. Those who remained are shadow cursed. If you don't die at their hands, then you become one of them. We have to get to Moonrise, but the less time we spend in its blighted surrounds, the better.
I really am worried about what shadow cursed means.
I studied one up close. Closer than most would care to be to those things. A drow attacked me and I defended myself. Afterwards, I was able to examine the tadpole that emerged. Hideous, but fascinating. Like nothing else in nature, I'm glad to say.
I have a theory about illithids and where they come from. I'm feeling the tadpoles developed for, the neolithids, the thing that they develop into if they don't find a host. I think that evolved first, and then they accidentally infected a sentient and came out as the first mind flayer.
Yeah, I mean,
Go on.
the far realms, like aberrations, are a lot more like a proto-biological mass from the far realms. I honestly have some issues with the later additions to D&D cosmology mainly because they created areas where the Great Wheel already existed, so D&D cosmology has become a lot more of a hodgepodge, and I'm not sure we needed a far realm when the Abyss exists.
I think the Far Realm came in with 4E, and
Yeah, tail end of, tail end of 3rd edition and 4th edition. Well, 4th edition, they tried to clean up. They tried to get rid of the Great Wheel and, be a lot more freer about what planes were rather than sticking to the established lore.
and I didn't dislike it. My annoyance was when they tried to stick it on all their campaign settings.
Yeah, it's so they attempted to do a similar thing with Eberron. But the established lore is like the positive thing about having an established lore and cosmology and all of that is that is brand identity, and like people are invested in those things.
Yep.
It's a feature of D&D that is is unique. Like, alignment is a double-edged sword, but the good thing we got out of alignment was the Great Wheel and the setting.
Yeah. I enjoy the Great Wheel. Greyhawk, Dragonlance, Faerun really need the Great Wheel. That makes more sense for those campaigns to be in it. Eberron, Athos, Birthright, not really. Shouldn't be part of the Great Wheel, for my opinion.
Yeah, they and that's fine. Like, they should. I even think they could have made 4th edition a spin-off of D&D rather than the main focus, but they've been trying to get a miniatures game together with chainmail and all of that so that they could,
They had that whole collectible minis game at the end of 3rd Ed.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like they wanted to get into the miniatures tabletop gaming space and everything.
I By the way, I hated the collectible things. Like I'm getting them to use on my tabletop in RPG. I understand the whole thing of needing it randomized for the collectible war game thing, but you just have to change the shape of the base or something to differentiate things that can be used in the. I was like, I want sets where I buy a set of goblins that I know are going to be a set of goblins, or a set of peasants that I know are going to be a set of peasants. Rant over.
But then how did they turn D&D into Magic the Gathering for it if they're not selling you miniature booster packs?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's partly the problem. Like, miniatures are not like, and we're way off topic here. How are we doing for time?
About 3 minutes, 2 minutes really. Which when we switch video, I'm going to go let the dog in.
All right. Well, let's chat about this for a bit then. Yeah.
Okay.
As somebody who plays Magic the Gathering, what I want out of Magic the Gathering is not what I want out of D&D. If I had to buy miniatures for D&D, I wouldn't play it anywhere near as much. I have trouble getting I have trouble with, doing projects because of my ADHD. And, like, if I had to collect minis on top of that, also, my cards fit in quite compact storage boxes. You can't do that with minis.
No. I ended up giving most of my minis away to my older brother.
It's not viable.
Yeah. I ended up giving most of my minis away to my older brother. They were like huge tubs.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a bunch of, like, when I was younger, I collected, I had toy collections and things like that. They take up a tremendous amount of space. Even the very small ones. But yeah, no, I have run out of steam on this topic a bit. They attempted it. They haven't attempted it again for a while now. I think they've particularly because they want to push VTTs, which is where where we're playing D&D all the time. And another thing about their own product that they should have known, like, Theatre of the Mind is absurdly popular.
Yep.
So, it's like...
I think I heard an anecdote that when Wizards of the Coast first bought D&D, they did a survey to wonder why people weren't playing the game anymore, and they panicked when they discovered lots of people were playing the game, they just weren't buying new product.
Yeah, which is why they want to move to a
new edition.
Why they want to move to a subscription model, and to do that, they're going to move to 6th edition. But
yeah, I am.
That was going to be this year, but now it'll be next year because they're like. They messed up. Yeah.
I'm heartily terrified to see D&D die in the hands of WotC and Hasbro, mostly Hasbro. Because it is... Go on.
No, you go.
Because it is such a tent pole in the hobby. And it is such a easy gateway into other games.
Yeah.
But...
D&D...
Go on.
D&D isn't going to die.
Right.
The worst that will happen is that Hasbro will die and the IP, the Wizards of the Coast, will change hands before that happens.
Right.
So the worst thing that will happen is that it goes to it goes to a worse company.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like Embracer Group or something.
Right. I mean,
Um,
there's always going to be the older editions. People are still playing first. People are still playing second. People are still playing Red Box, for goodness sake.
let's say the worst happens, and Wizards of the Coast and the D&D brand is sold off. People stop playing it, and it dies. We are a dedicated fan base. We will pick up the banner. Like the banner has been pre-picked up. There are people waiting for somebody to drop the banner. We Pathfinder
Yeah.
is already right there.
Oh, I'm not concerned for the hobby as a whole.
Yeah,
The hobby will continue because in the 90s, D&D practically died,
oh yes,
and
but it was
the hobby boomed.
it was never going to die forever though.
Right.
Because there would always be role-playing gamers. We can, like, there. If D&D dies, it will be in name only.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bad phrasing. It's like I would hate to see like another thing like Top Secret SI go be forgotten. Is practically forgotten now, or Hero System is on its way out, largely.
I know Hero System's very formative for you and everything, and I really do get it and I sympathize, but like
most people
Hero
don't.
Hero System like has had a lot more successes. And I'll be honest, Thrith, I think your better bet would be like starting with the point of what you liked about Hero System and rebuilding it from the ground up, because
oh no,
fractional,
I'm not going back to Hero System because that is, as much as D&D will burn me out to run it, I'm fine playing it. Hero System, the prep burden on Hero System is absurd.
Yes. And I will say, like, the moment, if you are a role-playing game designer, the moment you start thinking that a player should be recording fractions on their character sheet, stop.
Yeah. I am going to go on.
Yeah, no, let's end the video and come back.
I think the dog definitely wants it in for one thing.
Yes.
I'll be right back. We'll be back to another video in a moment, and hopefully we'll be back to dialogue with people instead of talking about the state of the hobby. See you then.
Yeah, see you in a little bit.